Can you sing it again, please?
Mama, Dada, Boo Boo, Chihuahua.
Keep going.
Mama, Dada, Boo Boo, Chihuahua. Mama, Dada, Boo Boo, Chihuahua. Mama, Dada, Boo Boo, Chihuahua. That's all I can do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Muppets Take Manhattan 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
All right, but I'm very excited indeed to be joined by our special guest. She's been on for every movie, and she's back for this one. Who is it?
Hi, everybody. It's Roz Strand. Thanks for having me back, guys. And husband.
You're welcome. That's my wife. That's my wife, everyone. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about minutes 55 and 56 of The Muppets Take Manhattan. In these minutes, Piggy finishes her fantasy and lands her dream job, waitressing at Pete's Luncheonette.
Yes! I caught the end of the Muppet Babies, guys.
You
I'm
did.
so excited.
Well, you
good.
You asked for the Gonna Always Love You when I asked you what you wanted to come on. And then we also had two other people ask for it.
Yes.
So that's why we stuck you at the end so you could talk about Gonzo too. Spoiler.
Yes. Which is also, I mean, there's so many parts that I love about this movie. I mean, there were very few bad positions that I could have been in, but I'm really glad that I caught the end of the Muppet Babies segment because I'm obsessed with it.
Well, it's true. So let's talk about that. We're going to start at the very end of Gonna Always Love You. Miss Piggy does her Gonna Always Love You.
Really should have let me do that.
Well, I was actually gonna ask because I know that Roz is a singer. This has to be higher than Piggy's note at the end of Never Before, Never Again, right?
I'm not sure that it is, but it definitely is close. I would have to actually see the music in order to tell you definitely. But I actually love singing this with her because Piggy just does the greatest, longest high notes ever, and they're super fun to sing, especially whenever you're a soprano.
Well, do you want to do it? That you would do it. I embarrassed myself, but you won't embarrass yourself. You do it.
I got to start from the Matterhorn though, because that sets it up.
Yeah,
you know, she wants to be a good mom, which in this case means being awesome and climbing the Matterhorn, which. If that's the definition of good motherhood, all right, I'll try.
Climbing the Matterhorn after all her children are born.
After all her children
leaving her children at home.
Yeah.
To go climb a mountain.
Although maybe she's going to bring them with her.
Yeah, maybe.
To witness her victory. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
That and also she trusts, I'm assuming in this case, Kermit to take care of the little tadpoles and piglets.
Sure.
That she leaves behind,
Bouncing baby figs, as we'll hear later in this movie.
But she's gonna climb the Matterhorn, but only after all her children are born. Because I want to be a good mommy too, and I'm gonna always love you. Yeah, so good, guys.
Great.
That was just like mine.
Yeah,
that was the same.
We sound the same. But I do love that song so much.
Well, actually, yeah. Anything you want to say about the song in general? It's because Ryan and I, this is the fourth episode where we've talked about it.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite song from the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It's so creative, and then all the puppetry going on behind the song as you go. I mean, even her just climbing up a giant slide in a nursery, which I don't know. I would love to have that giant slide in my own classroom because I do teach preschoolers. That is epic. And, she's just so tiny and round and cute. And she just climbed this giant slide and then rolls down like a bowling ball.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
funny. We talked about all the high tech puppetry tricks that happen in this sequence, but I love that it concludes with just like an old fashioned like toss the puppet down the slide.
Right. Well,
just tumbles.
but I also I think it really helps that before we get that great shot from Piggy's POV of her looking down at Kermit.
Yeah.
Like we, the audience, are looking
Yes.
down at Kermit with her, so that it's like, yeah, of course she wants to go down and see him.
Yeah. Here she
Yeah.
goes.
There he is. This is how I get there. I
Yeah.
roll down. Which, I mean, I definitely tried that as a kid,
Is that right?
to roll down a slide
Ooh, how'd that
like
go?
I was Baby Piggy.
Did you succeed?
No, never. never successful. Chickened out most of the time, and then I'm pretty sure that I fell off the slide at least twice.
Yeah.
Trying to
Oh,
attempt
no.
that.
Yeah, I could do a somersault as a kid, but I would never have tried somersaulting down a slide.
Yeah, I tried a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have because of Muppets. But
So can I put you on the spot real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
You love this song.
Oh, yes.
Years ago, when we first started dating, I made you a CD called Muppet Love Songs for Rosalind.
Yes.
A mixed CD that was all Muppet love songs, but it had this on it, but it also had With Every Beat of My Heart.
Yeah.
And you don't like With Every Beat of My Heart, I found out after I put it on.
Interesting.
And what's the difference? Those are the same song.
It's all, I mean, it is about the Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
Like, With Every Beat of My Heart, you got that from the Jim Henson?
No, that's Sesame Street.
That's
it's
Sesame
Little
Street.
Jerry and the Monotones.
Okay. So that was Sesame Street, and I didn't actually know that song, and it was not Frank Oz.
It's Jerry Nelson.
It's Jerry Nelson.
He's doing that.
He's
little
doing
Jerry.
that.
He's doing that like Miss Mousy. It's not Miss Mousy.
Yeah, but that high falsetto.
It's like a falsetto, yeah.
Yeah, that Jerry does versus the way that Frank sings for Piggy. There's enough of a difference for me that I sing one over and over again, and the other one
it's just like a screeching man.
I skip in the car whenever that song.
I can
comes
understand
on.
that you would be more attached to Miss Piggy than you would to Little Jerry.
Yeah. I would say that most people might feel attachment to Piggy as compared to Little Jerry.
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
there's
So.
I
some
mean,
people
Little
out
Jerry
there.
is great, but yeah,
Oh yeah.
you can't really compare the two.
I mean, Little Jerry and the Monotones, Elmo's favorite band. No big deal. Whatever.
Yeah,
Were
but
they-
these are Muppet Babies.
Were they
guys.
were they also Gina's favorite band
I
on
think they
Sesame
were.
Street? Yeah.
I believe that. These are the Muppet Babies, though. So this isn't just.
It's not
This-
just Piggy.
It's not just Piggy.
It's
This is
Baby Piggy.
this is the Muppet Babies origin story.
Yeah, and you love that show.
And I love that show so much. I love the original show. I love the current show. I've always loved Muppet Babies, and I know that I'm not part of the majority here, but Muppet Babies were as big in my world as Fraggles were. They
don't
went
know.
hand in hand for me growing up.
Right. I don't think that that's a minority. Like, I think there are a lot of people who have a great affection for that show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
I always liked Muppet Babies. I just sort of resented them a little bit during the time, like during the years when people would be like, "Oh, you like Muppet Babies?" Yeah, like that, like just thinking they were the same thing.
Yeah, I never had that problem. I mean, I wasn't as hard into it as Tough Pigs were.
Right.
I think that I've said in previous episodes of this podcast, like, I didn't know that Muppet fans were a thing
Right.
until I met Anthony. I knew that I loved Muppets. I had all the movies. I loved Jim Henson, but I thought that I was alone.
Right. Well, I remember you telling me when you saw It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie.
Yes.
When Kermit makes the joke about, like, you're not from one of those Muppet internet fan sites, are you? You thought the joke was that
didn't exist.
yeah, the joke was like that would be a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas we were like, "Oh, bro, Tough Pigs, yeah."
He's
they're
talking about us, or like he's talking about Danny Horn.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed. So Muppet Babies was never really an issue because most of the people that I talked to were just like, and that's fine. You wouldn't talk about something that you didn't watch whenever you were 3? It's like,
Yeah, but Ryan, you're talking about when you were an actual kid, though, right?
Yeah, like elementary school or like even going into, like middle school age. And I would be like, oh, yeah, Great Muppet Caper is one of my favorite movies. And people would be like, oh, is that Muppet Babies? Like Baby Animal, Go Bye-Bye? People
Yeah.
not realizing that the Muppets are puppets and they've been in a whole bunch of things where they're not baby cartoon characters.
yeah.
Right.
I actually once had a dream where Ryan, you and Joe were actually in the dream and you were both watching Muppet Babies.
Oh.
And this was like shortly after we visited New York and I got to meet you guys in person. But so like that's how hardcore I am and how much I want you to love Muppet Babies.
I don't dislike Muppet Babies. I like Muppet Babies. Oddly enough, I don't think Joe and I have ever sat down and watched an entire episode of Muppet Babies together.
You have in my subconscious. So
right. So that
halfway
counts.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raz's dream is that you and Joe watch Muppet Babies together.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
But I was just walking through the living room and that's what you guys were watching.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that
not-
happened.
Yeah, it's not unlikely.
It's true. I have very realistic dreams sometimes. But yeah, anyway, Muppet Babies are great. And
You love them.
And the fact that this is the original place and they're so adorably designed.
Yes, correct.
Oh, it just gives me all the feels to see how round they are and how cute they are.
Yeah, great job by Michael Frith.
Oh, I know. That's super exciting too. So
You mean that he was on our last episode that listeners have already heard?
yes.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just did such amazing work with that because they could have been freakish. Because that's the other thing. The actual babies in the Muppet Show, Bobby Benson and the babies. Those things are terrifying.
Yeah, you hate those.
That's what makes them so great, though. That's why
Oh,
those babies are
man.
hilarious. It's because they're so ugly.
Oh man, it creeps me out.
Yeah, you hate them.
I'm just like, fast forward. It's Bobby Benson. He should be arrested. Like,
Every time.
call child services. These poor babies. And Muppet Babies are the opposite. They're happy and they're enjoying and they have all everything that they need in their nursery.
What if Nanny was played by Bobby Benson?
I'd call social services.
What if they showed Nanny's face and it was Bobby Benson?
And now I'm hotlining. No, Bobby
doesn't-
Benson is bad.
He doesn't
Nope.
smoke anymore. They took his cigarette out of Muppet Christmas Carol.
Why
on
does
Disney Plus.
Does he own them? Like, is this payment for some kind of, like, he looks like a bookie. So I imagine that these babies' parents are paying off their debt to this bookie Benson by giving them their young. Is that what happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. I would love, like, I don't know if any of the other Muppet performers wrote these detailed backstories for their characters like Frank Oz did, but I would love to know if Richard Hunt ever came up with a detailed backstory for Bobby Benson. Like, where did he come from? Why did he decide to make a band of ugly babies? Where did the babies come from?
I hope that he didn't make backstories for any of his other characters.
If he
No, not
Just
Scooter,
Bobby Benson.
not Janice, just Bobby Benson.
Right.
If he did make a backstory, then he got it from Dateline. Like, that guy's a creep.
Oh, you know what? He's not even in this movie.
Wait, he might be at the wedding.
He might be at the wedding. The babies are definitely
The
at
babies are at the wedding.
The babies have a line at the wedding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am glad that I didn't have that part.
Yeah.
Because you would have heard that exact same rant that
But
I just did.
You got to do it anyway.
I got
so
to do it anyway.
without having to look at the babies.
I'm going to shoehorn that in here no matter what happens.
Best of both worlds.
Pennsylvania
So-
65,000.
We should probably move on pretty soon, but is there
That's
anything
fine.
else you want to say about Muppet Babies before we do?
No, I've said my piece. And if you haven't seen the new Muppet Babies, you should.
I have.
It's really fun.
It's good. I agree. Co-signed.
Yeah, well, we haven't really talked about, we talked a little bit, I think, last week about the music video for the song.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I just had a little bit of that. This mostly comes from the Jim Henson's Red Book blog. There was an MTV style music video made for this song.
Really?
I
You
guess
ever seen it?
it's very cool, very funny. It was directed by Jim Henson. The song was remixed by John Jellybean Benitez, which I didn't actually look him up to find out what his other credits are, but I love that his name is Jellybean. And there was some footage from the film. They shot some new footage of the babies in the nursery, and then there are all these little spoofs of like hit music videos of the time. There was also there's a moment with a real frog, and the Red Book blog tells us that the frog's name was Vito. And the frog is wearing a Kermit collar, and there's a real pearl-wearing pig named Dorothy Pig Newton. And then I think we may have mentioned in the last couple of weeks that there's a cameo by Jim Henson. He shows up wearing these Devo glasses, and he fixes a broken window and walks away on this light-up sidewalk, Billie Jean style.
Okay, I have to see this.
Yeah. We'll watch it. We'll watch it today.
The blog says the set was made surrealistically large, much larger than the one used in the movie, and each shot was kept to 3 seconds or less. Dorothy the pig ate 3 giant boxes of Fig Newtons during the shoot. When they were finished, Jim bet the set designer, John Davis, a former football player at Ole Miss, $5 that he couldn't hit the set window with a football at 25 feet. He hit and smashed the window on the first throw. So I guess that's where that shot comes from. They just did it the one time and they broke the window for real.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And it also says the video was a hit. It was named as a finalist at the 1985 VPA Monitor Awards in the Best Achievement in Music Video category. And Jim was named finalist in the Best Director category. So not one of his credits that we often think about or talk about, but it is a very cool video.
Yes, and we will link to it in the show notes as well. So go check it out.
That's something to look forward to.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so anyways, back to the movie. When the song is over, we dissolve back to, well, I should say, Piggy goes down the slide like we talked about. And then she lands in Kermit's lap and she turns around and she's sucking her thumb.
Oh, man. This meant so much to me as a kid.
Why?
I was a thumb sucker as a little kid.
Oh, sure.
And suddenly Piggy was doing that too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am not a freak. I am a Muppet. And that proves it. So, yeah. Representation matters, even among thumb suckers.
Yeah.
But then we dissolve back to the carriage and she's laying in Kermit's lap and sucking her thumb still as an adult.
Yeah.
Which I never really liked that much.
It's a little weird. And also she's wearing gloves. So she's actually sucking her glove.
She's glove sucking. Yeah, that's true.
She does wear gloves as a baby Piggy, though.
Yes,
both
true. Versions
of her.
of her.
Always wearing them, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, there's just something about, like, she's not that infantile for most of the song, you know?
Yes.
That's
true.
true.
She's like about doing all this adult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the only baby. She's the only baby who doesn't go like mama, dada, goo goo. Right,
exactly. So then it's like, why do they have her suck her thumb at the end just so that she can like act like a baby after the song?
Well, isn't it just to get the reaction, get Frank Oz's coming out of it reaction, which is funny to me.
When Piggy as an adult is sucking thumb?
No, whenever she comes out of it and she's just like,
oh yeah, she's doing that like thing that Frank loves to do.
Yeah, it's so that there's a transition back to the real world and then a little joke as a button on this whole sequence. But
fair enough.
Yeah, actually, in the March 7th, 1983 draft of the screenplay, as we mentioned, there was a different fantasy sequence, which you can hear about in a previous episode. But after this fantasy sequence, it's a little bit different. Piggy is just hugging Kermit, and he has to tell her that's the end of the ride. And then she says, "Oh, Kermit, thank you. It means so much to me that you probably spent whatever money you had on this wonderful romantic ride." Kermit says, "Well, not exactly. Actually, I know the driver." And then the driver leans over and smiles, and it is Jim Henson.
Aww.
So that kind of makes more sense because we were talking before about how there's never a close-up of him.
Right. You can barely tell that Jim Henson is doing a cameo as the driver.
Right.
So that would have been cute.
I
Would've been.
wonder why they cut that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like just time?
Maybe. I don't know.
But what a self-sacrificing guy that Jim Henson is just like, yeah, you can cut my only cameo.
Well, he didn't direct this.
Well, I know,
That's true.
but he was probably involved.
He kept the cameo in Great Bubba Caper that he did direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And also, like, he does have more prominent cameos like in the 30th anniversary special and Muppet Family Christmas. So
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he was just sort of like figuring out how, like, is it too much of an ego thing? Do I really want to be acknowledged on screen as myself? Maybe he was still kind of figuring that out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can see why they were just like, well, yeah, let's have her suck her thumb then.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got to get him out of this somehow.
Right,
Exactly.
right. After we cut away from the carriage, we are back at Pete's, where first of all, we see the outside of the building. We see some people walking around. We see a phone booth. Ryan, you wanted to say something about this exterior at Pete's.
Yes, I don't think we've talked about this before. If we have, I hope everyone will forgive me. But this exterior shot of Pete's Luncheonette was, as we mentioned, some of the shots in this movie were licensed as stock footage, and this is one of them. And this showed up in the pilot episode of Seinfeld, which at that point was called the Seinfeld Chronicles. So they're not eating at Monk's. You don't see the usual Tom's Restaurant in Manhattan in the establishing shot in the pilot. Instead, Jerry and George are eating at Pete's, and it's the exact same exterior shot from this movie. So it's I don't know when I first learned that. I think somebody had to point it out to me, but it's pretty fun.
I think that people have pointed that out to me several times, and I've forgotten it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there's always some kind of connection, but it's just that exterior shot.
And it's just in the
Right.
first episode.
And it's just that one pilot. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the famous Seinfeld's restaurant.
Because with my imagination, I'm just like, yeah, I think that somebody said something about like Jerry Seinfeld walking in ahead of Kermit or something like that, where I just start making it up as I go along because I can't actually remember what the truth is anymore.
No, that makes sense.
I like to think that Jerry and George are eating there while Kermit's working there, though.
Ah,
You know?
I do enjoy that.
I think that they would get, a nice egg white omelet from Pete. That would be fine.
And,
Sure.
and some toast.
And toast. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so now we're back inside of Pete's, where we see Piggy is now wearing the same waitress uniform as Jenny. Piggy works at Pete's now, but now that they're all lined up in at work, she turns her back to Jenny and kind of like leans back and forth on her heels in disdain.
Ooh, she's tapping that heel.
I guess so, yeah.
You hear it. Like, it's great Foley right there because it's just like bum, 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 bum. And it's just a high heel.
Yeah.
But you can tell that she's using it with so much force.
Yeah.
And her little 80s hair is just bopping around in anger.
Yeah.
And her hand is on her hip, so you can tell that she's got attitude.
She's mad.
Is Piggy Piggy is the 6th new employee at Pete's in just a few days?
Yeah, that's right. 4 rats, Kermit, and Piggy.
Yeah. Wow. Where does he find all the money for payroll?
I know. Yeah, we've talked about that. I'm not sure Pete pays his employees.
Maybe not.
But
I think that he might be paying them with food.
Yankee bean soup.
Yankee bean soup.
I mean, he's always giving it away, as we know.
With spoon.
But so Kermit doesn't want any part of this. Kermit is like, yeah, here we are. It's nice that we're all together. But Piggy is not having any of it. Like, here's the thing. I guess I feel like Piggy and Jenny, like, Piggy's already in uniform and they're just having this conversation now or not having it. Like, why hasn't Piggy already had it out with Jenny before she started her first day of work?
Well, this is definitely a bad tradition in film that we're seeing, which is basically girl aggression. Piggy's threatened by Jenny over Kermit. So instead of having it out, instead of being honest about her feelings and saying, Kermit, I saw you giving Jenny the huggies. She's going to stand there and tap her heel and she's going to be mean to Jenny and, show up obviously she's working there, but also there's kind of this who wore it best vibe going on between the two waitresses.
And meanwhile, Kermit's not wearing anything.
Kermit doesn't have to wear anything. Again,
he just does, he washes the dishes. He's not serving.
Yeah, what's he doing up front?
That's a good question.
He's just standing there, trying to make it less awkward, but he's kind of the reason that it is awkward. And Jenny's just doing her job. No fault on Jenny. She's just being a good platonic friend, and I don't think that she actually has any real clue why Piggy is upset. I know that she knows that Piggy is upset, but Piggy's committing some, really angry girl aggression here. And even her behavior, the way she says, like, "Moi will get it." It's really, really taught in our society to young girls that other girls are not your friend. They're your competition. They're your competition in jobs. They're your competition with guys. They're your competition with frogs here. And that's what they're playing out is this idea that Jenny and Piggy can't get along, because they're both women.
Yeah.
And Piggy often goes to this, and and I feel like they're correcting that in more and more recent stuff. Cinema as a whole is allowing more girl friendships and things like that. But here Piggy's just being like hyper feminine and hyper aggressive towards women who like Kermit.
Yeah.
So it's just an old stereotype. So it's nothing that we need to get rid of, but it's definitely something that I'd probably say to my own daughter, how do you think Piggy and Jenny could actually get through this?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do?
That's good.
Yeah. Are you going to say that to her next time we watch this?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Remind me, why does Piggy hate Reese Witherspoon on that episode of The Muppets, the sitcom?
Something about her birthday party or something. Or no, that was Christina Applegate.
Right. Well, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
On the 2015 series, Piggy sometimes hates other women, but for reasons completely unrelated to men. So that's progress.
And what's sad is that there are so many women that I know who are like that, who have a lot of trouble building up, friendships with girls because they just think that they're in constant competition with them. And that really is just false. That's been fabricated for us in order, as a distraction to keep us from taking over the world like we should.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
That makes
that's
sense.
much more than I had for that little exchange. So I'm really glad that we had you on this episode, Ross.
Yeah, if you show me a little bit of girl aggression, then I'm just like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. I know I've participated in it,
Sure. Yeah.
And you just grow up and you learn, and pretty soon you're just like, oh man, Piggy, that was the wrong choice, girl.
Makes sense.
Just turn around to Jenny and say, Jenny, are you interested in Kermit? And she'll say, I'm interested in costuming. And then they'll be friends.
Yeah, that's true. They both work in the theater in the end.
Yeah.
They have a similar, and they have the same job at work too. But speaking of which, a customer comes in and Jenny says she'll get it, but Piggy insists that she'll do it.
Yeah.
And like you said, Piggy says, after all, moi am a waitress. And see, you're laughing. To me, that feels like this thing. Newer stuff, I always feel like Miss Piggy says moi way too much.
Okay.
Yeah. In my head, it's always like, oh, she didn't used to say it that much. But this is exactly that thing where it's kind of awkward and she says it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's been around for a while. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this movie's as old as I am, and I'm going bald.
Yeah, she always said moi and vous.
Yeah, I know, but not all the time. Even in this movie, she doesn't say it all the time.
I think it varies.
But she did say it in the most awkward way, which is why it's great.
That's very in character for her. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. But anyways, so then next thing is that Kermit turns, Piggy walks away to go wait on the customer. Kermit turns to thank Pete for giving Piggy a job. And Pete says, do you want to say it? I imagine you do.
Is that cooking is frog washing, is pig waitress, is not coffee shop, is zoo. So good. And I asked myself, is this actually Pete's most sensible sentence in the entire movie?
Like most coherent.
Yeah, it's completely coherent. Like it's just off because of the grammar behind it. But that one you can follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's glad that he didn't hire those penguins at this point.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be even more of a zoo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Penguins would have their own exhibit.
Yeah.
Is aquarium.
But yeah, so then Kermit just kind of nods and says, yeah. And Jenny's such a good pal. Like, sensing that he's feeling down, she like tries to snap him back into like a better mood. And I love Jenny's amazing enthusiasm when she says, "Hey, Kermit, come on. What about the show? What are we going to do next?"
Yeah. She's a good friend.
She is. She says it like she's Rod Roddy on The Price is Right.
She's just so excited to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that she feels like this is her shot and she gets to help out a friend and it's adorable. She's just starting out on her career and she's so excited.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She is. Jenny's great.
Mm-hmm. Let's call her.
She called Jenny.
Jenny, I got your number.
That's from the 80s. Just like this movie. But anyways, so then Pete says, like Roz just said, Pete tells Kermit that his mailman come with letters for you. Yes. Kermit says that must be more mail from the gang. But I love the idea that Kermit was so excited, and then it's just like an ad for a new pizza place in town. It's just like it's just spam.
Could be, yeah. It's the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Is letter for you. Says resident.
Right, exactly.
Kermit's like, no, wait, this one is addressed to Kermit the Gorf.
There it is. But before we can find out what's in the mail, we cut away to Piggy, who is now waiting on the customer. And the customer is Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
But wait a minute.
Ryan.
Who is Brooke Shields?
So Brooke Shields is a famous actress. And I know, like, at this time she had been in some... she was
a model.
She was a model. She was in the movie Blue Lagoon before this. She was in a movie called Pretty Baby that was pretty controversial at the time.
Yeah. That's when she was pretty young and Pretty Baby.
She was like 12 years old in that, or something. And of course, most notably for our purposes, she was on The Muppet Show. She was the youngest guest star on The Muppet Show. She was 15 years old.
Wow.
And
I think the Muppet Wiki says she was 14 when it was taped.
14 when it was taped?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Alice in Wonderland theme. Many listeners probably know already. It's one of the 2 episodes that's not on Disney+.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, everybody.
Brooke Shields continued to be famous for a long time. She was in more movies. She starred in a sitcom called Suddenly Susan that was on for 4 years.
Somehow.
Definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
I don't really remember anything from it. It was just one of those workplace sitcoms.
It had Kathy Griffin in it.
Yeah.
That was Kathy Griffin played a less funny version of Vicki Lewis on News Radio.
It was, but it was like news radio.
Yeah, it was at a magazine.
It was at a magazine instead of a
radio station.
Radio news station.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Kathy Griffin instead of
Vicki Lewis.
Vicki Lewis.
The great Vicki Lewis.
Yeah, that was during that. It was during that NBC must-see TV era of like, we have a few huge hits, so as long as we put the lesser shows between the huge hits, people will watch them.
And as long as the lesser shows are at least, 50% like another popular show.
right. And Just Shoot Me was that same thing too.
Just Shoot Me.
On that same time, wasn't that Saturday
Oh,
Night
but that was, I tried to revisit that.
I remember I was there.
That was dumb of me.
It was bad.
Do not revisit that show, guys.
And the single guy I would add to that list.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah. There was NBC was a hit factory.
Yeah.
Caroline in the City.
Caroline in the City I kind of liked.
I've revisited that in the past.
Why don't you guys start the dang Caroline in the City fan club?
No, I don't know. I don't know how good it actually was, but I remember finding it pleasant enough at the time.
My main memory of Caroline in the City, and this is way off topic, is that Maury Amsterdam and Rosemary are in an episode.
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Buddy and Sally from the Dick Van Dyke Show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Great to see them.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
But Maury Amsterdam and Rosemary did not work with the Muppets.
Too bad.
Unfortunately, either one of them would have been a delight.
Would have
Yeah.
been great.
Would have been great. Yeah, it never happened.
Oh man.
But anyways, who did? Brooke Shields. So she's in this movie as a customer, and Piggy gets called away.
Maybe I don't know if you also had this, but she has a couple other Muppet connections. She contributed a recipe to Miss Piggy's cookbook in 1996. It was a recipe for vegetable health soup, which sounds delicious.
We have that
We
book.
have that upstairs.
Well, you should make Brooke Shields vegetable health soup tomorrow.
Vegetable health soup, and we'll post it. We'll post the pictures of how it turns out in the show notes because it'll be done by then.
Yeah, I've only tried
Harry
Harry
Belafonte's
corn pudding, which I failed at. That thing's like a souffle.
But you didn't know how to fold them.
I know how to fold now.
Yeah.
Did not know how to fold them. I think that I can deal
hard.
with my egg whites better now.
Moira Rose taught you how to fold, so now you know.
Exactly.
Just fold it in. I'm very proud of you for getting us both off topic and back on topic. I see what you're
This
doing.
is what we do. Well, Brooke Shields she appeared on stage in the live Muppet show at Muppet Fest, the 2001 convention.
Oh, yeah.
She was in the Muppet Show Live, among other things. She wore a pig nose, blonde wig, feather boa, and purple gloves to sing Never Before, Never Again with Kermit. I think Miss Piggy was not in that live show because it was like right at the time when she had just been recast. So like,
actually, Eric Jacobson filmed a hello as Piggy for that.
Right. But
And
nobody
the
knew
crowd
it was him. I think at
Yeah,
the time
nobody-
people were fooled by it. Like they thought, oh yeah, Frank Oz just can't be here. So he recorded this message, but it wasn't Frank. It was Eric, if I remember right.
Exactly. Yeah. And it sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she wasn't in the live show. So Brooke Shields played the part of Miss Piggy.
Mm-hmm. And in this, they share a very brief scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardly at all with Piggy.
Well, because Piggy gets called away to go look at the postcards.
Yes.
So then Masterson the rat comes up and he just stares at her and starts panting like a weirdo.
Yes.
Yeah. Masterson, not cool, bro.
No.
You work here, quit panting, and just get back in the kitchen. Just massively inappropriate.
Yeah, it's true.
Funny, but inappropriate.
Yeah, she could file a complaint for sure.
You totally could.
Yeah.
But so then Masterson finally he says, "Do you believe in interspecies dating?" And then Brooke Shields actually kind of like half smiles and says, "Well, I've gone out with some rats before, if that's what you mean." And Masterson thinks, end of scene.
Passes out on the table.
I think her delivery really saves it from being too creepy because she does seem kind of amused by him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right. I think that's right.
Agreed. She plays along a lot better than I do.
Yeah.
I'm like about to backhand him.
If Masterson did that to you, you would not be amused.
Well, even if he was talking to another woman, I would like come up and I'm be like, she is not being pretty for you. Bam.
Yeah, no, this is not acceptable behavior
This is
in real
not
life.
okay.
Right,
But he
right.
also is a rat.
He literally is.
So, since he is a rat and he's doing a very ratty like thing, I think that we can let it slide for just the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Still burns me up, guys.
Sure. But I was going to say about Masterson, we talked, so Bruce Edward Hall plays Masterson, who we've discussed. We talked before about him playing Beth, the bear in Fozzie's postcard. And we talked about how that character sounds so genuinely feminine in a way that few Muppets voiced by men do. But listening to Masterson here, he also has a very high voice. Like the two voices are not terribly dissimilar now that I'm listening for it.
Yeah, you made a little recording of Masterson and Beth speaking back to back, and you can tell, like, yeah, this is the same guy who's doing just a little bit more, just a more feminine voice for Beth.
Hello. My name's Beth. I can't sleep either. Maybe if we snuggle. Do you believe in interspecies dating? Ugh.
Yeah. Whenever you played it for me, it sounded like they were siblings.
Sure.
It was like here's the guy twin and here's the girl twin.
Yes, a real Scooter and Skeeter situation.
Real Scooter and Skeeter. Yeah, he could have played both.
Yeah.
Just very, very well.
Sure. Yeah.
It is impressive though. I'm not as much of a voice chaser as you are. I don't.
No, to my eternal frustration. Because I'm always like, can't you tell? Can't you tell? And you'll just be like, no, that doesn't sound the same at all.
No, that one's a bear. That one's a rat. What do you mean?
Bears don't sound like rats. Come on.
Yeah, that's where I am always. It's just like it's just the visual part of it. I can't separate them. But it is a really. So for me, for you, you're just like it's clearly the same person. But for me, I'll just be like Robin and JP Gross sound exactly the same, Roz.
Well.
No, they don't. Oh my gosh, stop it. And for me, it's impressive because unless you lay them back to back, unless you have, your favorite Muppet nerd telling you that they are the same voice. For me, it's just enough of a difference that I'm like, that's really uncanny.
Yeah.
The fact that he can just pitch it in slightly different way and barely do a different voice. And they're two totally different characters in my mind.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just impressed because I'm not good at it at all. So I think that it's really, really cool that Masterson can be, just total panty little rat boy. And Beth is like this bear that I want to get to know.
Yeah, it's actually too bad that Bruce Edward Hall didn't work more with the Muppets. He could have created some characters.
Yeah, it seems like he's really talented, or was. Mm-hmm. But so anyways, the last thing that happens in this scene is that they find out that the postcard is from Gonzo.
Gonzo!
Your fave.
Yes!
Your best friend.
Bring it!
But I think we should really save it for next time. All we find out is that
come on,
we're having you back for the next one.
Okay, good.
We find out that he's in Michigan, where he and Camilla have joined a traveling aquacade, and we'll talk about that next.
Yeah.
But so before we close this movie, though, before we close this clip, any final thoughts before we close? Roz, I'll start with you.
Hearing Gonzo's voice is so nice because you get worried as a kid whenever everybody goes away. And then suddenly through these postcards, then you get to hear your favorite voices again. And then you're like, oh, good, he's okay. And also just that first shot, Michigan does not make sense for me. That looks like the Wisconsin Dells straight up.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's
we'll find out more.
Find
out next week where it was. But Ryan, anything else?
The only other thing I had is I like the sort of exchange of looks between Piggy and Jenny when Kermit says, "Oh, it's the postcard is from Gonzo," and Jenny says, "Great!" Like she's just always trying to be this perky, happy friend, and then Piggy shoots her a look, and Jenny makes a face back at her like, "Oh, all right, I know." Like it just so much happening between them without exchanging words.
Huh? I never noticed.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. So before we end the episode, though, Roz, we like to ask our guests.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time you saw this movie, and where would you rank it among the Muppet movies?
I don't actually remember, but I'm going to bet that I saw it in my grandma's basement on a sick day. That's going to be my best bet, because that's where I saw most of the Muppet movies. Was that my grandma had them first, and that's where I went on sick days. Was my grandma's basement, and I just hung out down there. While she canned green beans and did all that stuff upstairs. So that was definitely, maybe first, second grade.
Yeah.
It was really early. And it was my sister's favorite Muppet movie. So it wasn't my favorite Muppet movie. It's definitely high on the list. Top 4 for sure. They kind of move around as the years go by. But
top 4 meaning the first 4, I assume.
Yeah, first three and
Christmas
Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
So it's in the top 4 of the first of because it's the first 4, but it was my sister's favorite. And so we watched it way more than the others because my sister is 6 years older and she definitely told us what to do most of the time.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Still does, yes.
Still does. Shout out to my nieces out there listening to this. Yeah, your mom still tells me what to do and you know it.
I was gonna say.
But so I watched this so much and I just remember singing Gonna Always Love You with my sister.
Huh.
My sister would deny this or say that she doesn't remember, but that's okay. It happened. But I've had a long time to love this movie and it's really close to my heart, even though it's not my favorite, but it's close because it was my sister's favorite. And I had to watch it a lot.
All right, there it is. Okay, well, I think that's a good note to end on. And we will be back next week. But in the meantime, listeners, please check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, all over the place. You can email us at movinrightalong@toughpigs.com. You can follow Ryan on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe. Roz, where can our listeners find you, the elusive Roz Strand?
Oh,
online?
gosh. If you can find me, good job. But if not, then just talk to Anthony. He'll tell me what's up. That's good enough for me.
Good, fair.
Anthony will tell you what's up.
Yeah, I try to limit my outside influence.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. What do you mean?
Well, I have a rule that I'm mostly Facebook friends with people that I would have in my living room.
In real life. Yeah. Right.
So if I would have you in my living room, if I know you that well, then
you're already friends.
Then I'm already friends with you.
Right.
And heaven knows I haven't met anybody new this past year, so we're good.
That's true. So our theme music is by Stacy Rosen. Thank you to her. And our logo was designed by Morgan Davey. Thank you to her.
Fabulous girls.
Yeah. And if you're so inclined, listeners, give us a positive review on iTunes and tell all your friends about the show. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.